Hi everyone, this is math lesson 135. So go ahead and look for that, excuse me, that math paper right now. It's page 269. So go ahead and get that one out and then make sure you write your name and number at the top. Okay, section 1, what you're going to do is you're going to count the coins in each row, write the total amount, and then add the two numbers together. Section 2, they have 32 plus 25 plus 12. You have to add all those numbers together and write the total. Then section 3, they want you to circle 1 dozen balls, okay? So remember how many are in 1 dozen. The correct answer is 12. And then half a dozen would be 6, but they want you to circle 1 dozen of the balls, okay? And then section 4, you need to write the missing numbers, okay? So remember, to find the missing number, you're going to subtract the answer from the first number to find the correct missing number. And then section 5, you're writing the before and after numbers by fives. Okay, so when we count by fives, it's like this: 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. So if you need your number chart, go ahead and get that out to help you count by fives, which I don't think you will because y'all are really smart. Okay, then you can go ahead and flip your paper over to the back. And at the top section, you have some addition problems there. And we're actually going to work on some of those right now. Okay, so if we look at our first problem here, we did these before in another lesson. So this is a newer concept to us, so I need you to pay very close attention. Okay, so we have 76 plus 14. That's the first problem listed on your paper. Now remember, when we're adding numbers together to help us kind of separate the ones in the tens place, we draw a line. So they have the lines drawn already on your papers. And then you'll notice there's a little box up here and above the tens place. So when we're adding the numbers together, we always start in the ones place, or we always start on the right side to get the right answer. And this is why it's very important to start in the ones place. Because if you were to start in the tens place on these problems, the answer would be incorrect. So it's very important when you're adding the numbers together that you always start in the ones place. Don't forget that. Okay, so let's start in the ones place. Our first two numbers are 6 plus 4. Okay, so add those numbers together in your head, and 6 plus 4 is 10. Now remember, the number 10, I'll write it up here. We have our 0, which is in the ones place, and then our 1, which is in the tens place. So the number that is in the ones place, we're going to write it down here. Now when you're adding numbers together, sometimes the number in the ones place is going to be different than 0. It's not always going to be 0. It could be 5, 7, 9, 8. Whatever number you see here in the ones place, you're going to write that on the one side. Now we have the 1 that's in the tens place. Remember, we're going to carry it over to the tens place, and we're going to write it right above the number in the tens place. So we have 1 plus 7 plus 1. Okay, so that would be 9. So 1 plus 7 plus 1 is 9. So 76 plus 14 is 90. Okay, let's go to the next one. We have 52 plus 38. So once again, we're going to start in the ones place. So 2 plus 8 is 10. So once again, I'm going to write my 0 here because that's my number in the ones place. And then I'm going to take my number from the tens place, which is, again, the 1, and I'm going to carry it over to the tens side. Okay, so we have 1 plus 5 plus 3. So 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. Okay, and then last one, we have 85 plus 6. Now, if you notice on the 6, there's no number in the tens place. Don't let that confuse you, because what you can do, and what I would suggest that you do, is you could just write a 0 here. So that way you don't kind of get scared because there's no number in the tens place. But that's okay. So now we have 85 plus 6. So once again, we're going to start on the one side. So we have 5 plus 6. 5 plus 6 is 11. Now I'm going to write 11 up here for a second. So we have one number in the ones place and 1 10 in the tens place. So I'm going to write my 1. See, Miss Williams just said the number in the ones place is not always going to be 0. In this case, it's 1. So I wrote 1 here, and then I'm going to carry my number from the tens place over here. So 1 plus 8 is 9. 9 plus 0 is 9. So my answer is 91. Okay? So that is adding double-digit numbers and carrying over to the tens place. Now, let's look at the board here. Let me turn my camera back. There we go. So on my board, I have drawn the kind of the same graph as you have on your paper. And this is a bar graph. And it says use the graph to answer the questions that your teacher asks. Now, if you notice, let's look at the bar graph carefully. The numbers on the bottom, they start at 0 and they go from 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36. So those numbers on the bottom of your graph are counting by 3s. Okay, sometimes they'll count by 1, sometimes they might count by 10s, by 5s. You just have to figure out what the graph is counting by. Now the first bird on your bar graph, by the way, the title of this bar graph, if you look at the top, it says length of birds. So this is telling us how long the birds are, okay? So the first bird you have at the top is a robin. The second bird is a woodpecker. The third bird is the roadrunner. And the fourth bird is the hawk. Okay? Now, each bird is a different length because as you see, all of the bars, they end in different spots. So that means all of the birds are different lengths. Okay, so if you notice underneath the bar graph, you have box A, B, C, D, and E. Now I'm going to ask you some questions and you need to use this graph to answer those questions. So let's start with box A. Okay, and I'll help you through this first one. It says, which of the 3 birds that I read to you is the shortest? Is it the robin, the hawk, or the woodpecker? So here's the robin, here's the hawk, and here's the woodpecker. Which one was the shortest in length? The correct answer is the robin. So on box A, you're going to look for the name robin and fill in the circle under the word robin. Okay? Pretty easy so far. Okay, box B. Which of the 3 birds that I read to you is the longest? Okay, is it the roadrunner, the robin, or the woodpecker? Which one of these 3 was the longest? And the correct answer is the roadrunner, because the roadrunner is 24 inches long. Okay? Box C says, which bird is longer than the roadrunner? So here's the roadrunner, so we're going to see which bird is longer. Is it the robin or the woodpecker, or is it the hawk? Which one's longer than the roadrunner? So here's the roadrunner. Which one of these three is longer? The correct answer is the hawk. Okay? Box D, I want these last two, I want you to do it on your own. Okay? So look at the graph and listen carefully as I read the questions. It says, which bird is 1 yard long? Now, remember, how many inches are in a yard? Remember, if I had my yardstick, that really long stick that Miss Williams shows you sometimes, how many inches long is that yardstick? Remember, it's like putting 3 rulers together, so one ruler is 12 inches long. So 12, 24, 36. So 1 yard is 36 inches. So it says, which bird is 1 yard long, or which bird is 36 inches long? So look down here. This is tricky though, because if you look, the robin is 9 inches long. The woodpecker is 18 inches long. The roadrunner is 24 inches long. And the hawk is 27 inches long. So is there a bird even listed that is 36 inches long? No, there's not. So the answer is not there. So you would pick, on box D, you would pick NH for not here. Okay, last one, box E. Which bird is shorter than 1 foot? Okay, so remember how many inches are in a foot? Correct answer is 12. So which one is shorter than 12 inches? Is it the robin, the hawk, or is the answer not here? So here's the robin and here's the hawk. The robin is 9 inches and the hawk is 27 inches. So which one of those two is less than 12 inches long or less than a foot? Think you know the answer? I think you do. All right, so that is the end of lesson 135. If you have any questions, let me know. I'd be happy to answer them. See you later.